In discussions of learning technologies, you may have heard the acronym TPCK or TPACK. TPACK stands for Technological, Pedagogical, and Content Knowledge. So to understand what this is, we first need to draw a few circles. Let's start with a green circle and call this technology. Technology represents technical knowledge, so the ability to use software, the ability to use a computer, and so forth. There are other domains of knowledge as well, like for instance, content knowledge. So we'll put a C for content knowledge. This includes, if you're a high school language arts teacher, language arts. This includes science, social studies, and so forth. So what you as a teacher are trying to convey to your students. And also working off Schulman's idea, there is an idea of pedagogical knowledge as well. So this is how to teach. So for instance, though you may be an expert in quantum physics, you may not know how to teach quantum physics. Or if you're an expert in Shakespeare, you may not know how to teach Shakespeare. Similarly, there is a subdomain of knowledge called PCK, which is where pedagogical knowledge of a subject and content knowledge meet to allow you to effectively teach that specific content knowledge. Similarly, the authors of TPACK propose that there are other subdomains as well, like for instance, a technological content knowledge area in which you know the technology and how it relates to your content knowledge. So again, if you teach social studies, you know how to use technology to support your research in that field or your study of that field. Similarly, there's technological pedagogical knowledge in which you know how to use technology to support teaching. Now, the whole idea of TPACK is to get at something that we've failed at getting at in learning technologies for many years. And that's this central idea here. And this is how all three of these, technology, pedagogy, and content knowledge, work together in a very complicated way to support good teaching. Now, TPACK has been under some attack because it does propose to be an entire package or the full view of technological integration. And part of the response that TPACK authors have come up for in defending TPACK have been to put a dotted circle around everything that they say is context. So if you're in an elementary school, for instance, the way TPACK looks would be very different than if you were in higher education. If you were in a corporate sector, this might be very different as well. So ultimately, though, TPACK tries to get at understanding how these three domains of knowledge interact with one another and creating subdomains that are essential to understand to support effective technological integration.